Tragedy strikes in the wilds of Botswana as a renowned American infectious disease specialist, Dr. Richard K. Root, is fatally attacked by a crocodile while on a safari. From a celebrated career at top institutions like Yale and Penn, to his life's dedication to battling bacterial infections and mentoring future leaders in medicine, Dr. Root's sudden end left the medical world in shock. What led to this tragic encounter? And how did a life devoted to healing meet such a brutal fate in nature's untamed wilderness? Stay tuned for this remarkable story of passion, tragedy, and the unpredictable power of nature. Welcome back to Savage Tales Animal Encounters, the channel where we dive into the most thrilling, unbelievable, and sometimes heartbreaking interactions between humans and the animal kingdom. From daring escapes to tragic accidents, every story reminds us of the sheer power and unpredictability of the wild. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of these incredible stories. And if you're a returning viewer, you know what's coming. Another jaw-dropping tale that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. What would you do in the face of danger? Today's story takes us deep into the wilderness of Botswana, where a peaceful safari turned deadly for renowned infectious disease specialist Dr. Richard K. Root. A man who had dedicated his life to healing and education met an untimely and tragic end in the jaws of one of Africa's most feared predators, the crocodile. How did such an experienced traveler and humanitarian become prey in the heart of the African wild? Stick with us as we unravel this story of passion, danger, and the raw unpredictability of nature. This is Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, where human courage meets untamed wildlife and only one walks away. Dr. Richard K. Root was a towering figure in the medical community, renowned for his contributions to the field of infectious diseases. Born in New York City, he graduated from Wesleyan University in 1959 and went on to earn his medical degree from Johns Hopkins University in 1963. Over the course of his distinguished career, Dr. Root served in prominent roles at some of the world's leading medical institutions, including Yale, Penn, and the University of Washington. He was the founding chief of infectious diseases at the University of Pennsylvania, led clinical research on the body's defenses against bacterial infections, and made groundbreaking strides in the treatment of sepsis and septic shock. Beyond his expertise, Dr. Root was a beloved mentor who shaped the careers of many future leaders in medicine. In early 2006, Dr. Root traveled to Botswana for a 2-month assignment at the Princess Marina Hospital in Gaborone. He had been invited by the University of Pennsylvania and the Botswana Department of Health to teach and provide medical care to patients, many of whom were suffering from HIV. While there, he took the opportunity to experience the natural beauty of Africa on a safari tour. It was during a canoe trip through the Tuli Nature Reserve, located near Botswana's border with Zimbabwe, that tragedy struck. In March of 2006, Dr. Richard K. Root and his wife Rita embarked on what was meant to be a peaceful and awe-inspiring safari tour through the wilds of Botswana. Dr. Root was in the country for a 2-month assignment at the Princess Marina Hospital, providing much-needed care and education to patients suffering from HIV. His career, defined by dedication to medicine and teaching, had taken him to some of the world's most prestigious institutions. But this journey was different. It offered a brief escape from the demands of the medical world and a chance to connect with nature. Dr. Root, a seasoned traveler and lifelong educator, was no stranger to the unpredictable, but as he boarded a canoe in the Tuli Nature Reserve along Botswana's eastern border with Zimbabwe, he had little reason to suspect the danger lurking beneath the water's surface. The Tuli Reserve, famous for its rich wildlife and stunning scenery, was a place where tourists came to experience Africa's raw beauty. Riding along the river in his canoe, Dr. Root was accompanied by Rita, who was in another canoe just behind him, soaking in the tranquil surroundings, but the peace of the river masked a deadly predator lurking just beneath. As Dr. Root's canoe glided across the surface, a massive crocodile surged from the water with terrifying speed and power. Without warning, it latched onto Dr. Root and pulled him into the depths. The attack was swift and brutal, so sudden that there was little time for any reaction. From her position in the trailing canoe, Rita watched helplessly as her husband was dragged under. Crocodiles are apex predators, capable of dragging prey into the water with immense force. Their ambush-style attacks are both ferocious and devastatingly effective. In this case, the attack was fatal. The very predator that had inspired awe in so many safari-goers turned into a symbol of unimaginable tragedy. Despite the desperate efforts of those on the safari, there was no saving Dr. Root. His body was later recovered, marking the end of an extraordinary life cut short in an almost unfathomable way. Word of the attack quickly spread, sending shockwaves through the medical community and leaving his colleagues and students devastated. Dr. Harvey M. Friedman, the director of infectious diseases at the University of Pennsylvania, broke the tragic news, explaining that a man who had dedicated his life to helping others had fallen victim to one of nature's most fearsome creatures. Following the attack, Dr. Root's family and colleagues grieved the loss of not only a brilliant mind, but a kind and compassionate individual. His death raised awareness of the unpredictable dangers that even the most experienced travelers can face in the wild. To many, the tragedy served as a somber reminder of nature's duality. The same beauty and majesty that draws us in can also harbor untold dangers lurking just beneath the surface. In the aftermath, Dr. Root was remembered for his unwavering dedication to advancing medical knowledge, his contributions to the treatment of infectious diseases, and the countless lives he touched throughout his career. His sudden and shocking death in the jaws of a crocodile remains one of the most haunting and tragic encounters between man and nature. In the aftermath of Dr. Richard K. Root's tragic death in 2006, the impact of the crocodile attack reverberated across both the medical and conservation communities. Dr. Root's life, defined by his dedication to advancing medicine and healing others, ended in a brutal encounter with one of Africa's oldest and most feared predators. His sudden death sent shockwaves not only through his family and colleagues, but also through the broader public, raising awareness about the risks associated with wildlife tourism and crocodile attacks in Botswana and other parts of Africa. Following the incident, Dr. Root's family was left devastated. His wife Rita, who had witnessed the attack from a nearby canoe, was profoundly affected by the trauma of losing her husband in such a horrific manner. The tragedy also left Dr. Root's three sons, Richard, David and Daniel, grappling with the loss of a father who had been a guiding figure in their lives. The family came together to honor his legacy, focusing on celebrating his immense contributions to medicine, education, and the lives of those he had touched through his career. The death of Dr. Root prompted discussions about safety precautions for safari tourists, particularly in regions where crocodile populations were thriving. Botswana, known for its incredible wildlife and as a premier safari destination, became the focal point of conversations regarding how to manage human-wildlife interactions more effectively. Crocodile attacks, while rare, were known to occur, especially near rivers and water bodies, where the animals are most active and aggressive. Crocodiles, particularly the Nile crocodile, are responsible for several fatal attacks each year in Africa, with Botswana being home to a sizable population due to its abundant rivers and lakes. These reptiles are ambush predators that often target unsuspecting animals and humans who venture too close to the water. Awareness efforts following the attack highlighted the importance of educating tourists about these risks, with safari companies and wildlife guides implementing stricter safety measures. Canoe trips in particular became more regulated, with guides receiving additional training on how to spot and avoid crocodile habitats. Conservationists also used the opportunity to educate the public about crocodiles and their role in the ecosystem. Although deadly in certain circumstances, These ancient reptiles play a critical role in maintaining the balance of their environments by controlling fish populations and preventing overgrazing near water sources. It was important, advocates stressed, to balance human safety with the preservation of crocodile habitats. Dr. Root's colleagues in the medical field, particularly at the University of Washington and the University of Pennsylvania, where he had held significant leadership roles, honored his memory by continuing his work in infectious disease research and mentoring. Scholarship funds and medical initiatives were established in his name, ensuring that his passion for education and patient care would endure even in his absence. For the family, however, the loss was deeply personal. While the world remembered Dr. Root for his medical contributions, his loved ones carried the weight of his absence. His sons, Richard, David and Daniel, and his 8 grandchildren worked through their grief while finding ways to honor his legacy. His first wife, Marilyn, with whom he shared 41 years of marriage before her passing, had also been a significant part of his life's journey, making the loss even more profound for those closest to him. In the end, Dr. Root's death was a stark reminder of the unpredictability and danger that come with venturing into the wild. The tragedy served as a catalyst for improving safety measures for tourists, raising awareness about the risks of wildlife interactions, and continuing the delicate conversation about how humans can coexist with nature's most powerful creatures. His life's work, however, left an enduring legacy that continued to impact lives even after his untimely and tragic death. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the tragic and shocking story of Dr. Richard K. Root, a man who dedicated his life to saving others, only to lose his own in a fatal encounter with one of Africa's deadliest predators. From his incredible accomplishments as a medical educator and infectious disease specialist to the heartbreaking crocodile attack in Botswana that claimed his life, this story serves as a reminder of the power and unpredictability of nature. If you found this story compelling, be sure to check out our other videos on Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, where we explore the most astonishing and sometimes devastating interactions between humans and the wild. From survival against all odds to the terrifying unpredictability of wildlife, our channel is your source for thrilling real-life stories. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had a close encounter with wildlife? Or what do you think about the delicate balance between humans and nature? We'd love to hear your stories. Stay tuned for more Savage Tales coming your way, where the line between human courage and nature's untamed forces is always tested. Thanks for watching, and remember, out in the wild, anything can happen.